And welcome, everybody, to I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier American tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at 7 different Western New York locations. If you need a beer, of course, always get over to Fatty Beer. Let them know us over here at Two Goalies, One Mic sent you. I was there last night for the Bills watch party after during that devastating loss to Houston, but great times. They had a good watch party there, good crowd, free pizza at halftime. If you're a Mug Club member, it's $1 off drafts. Can't go wrong at Fatty Beer and 97 of their locations. So, and also shout out to our sponsors at Extreme Discount Mattress with Western New York's finest selection of mattresses and adjustable beds featuring Cool Gel Memory Foam, two-sided mattresses, Telelay Latex, organic mattresses, Chatham & Wells, Scott Living, and even the Skechers mattress, all for a third to a half of the supposed sale prices anywhere. Stop at any of their 7 locations across Western New York or check out their website, extrememattress.com. That is Extreme with an X. If you're looking for even more savings, check out their new closeout center at 1625 Walden Avenue in Cheektowaga with 80% off their already low prices. Save a fortune on one-of-a-kinds, closeouts, and floor samples. You can get a quality mattress for literally pennies on a dollar. Extreme Discount Mattress. We sell mattresses for less, a lot less. So, and you of course, if you mentioned that you buy a mattress and you mentioned that you're a fan of Two Goalies and Mike, they will hook you up with a free, yes, I said free mattress protector for whatever mattresses you decide to get. So again, make sure you let them know you're a fan. So always appreciate our sponsors, but I think the one thing we need to appreciate the most tonight, the absolute most, is the birth of the Buffalo Beer Sabre. Sabres beat the Blackhawks tonight 9-3. Yes, you heard that right. 9-3. A Blackhawks team that came in a little tired, a little dogged after playing last night. And Buffalo took advantage of it. Something they should have did against Calgary the other night, but they didn't. But they did tonight. 8 different goal scorers. Donor with 2 goals. Tage Thompson, a 5-game goal streak. He has really turned it on. Alex Tuck with 4 assists. He's really starting to turn it on. Jason Zucker returns to the lineup, scores a goal off a really nice pass from Jack Quinn. Jack Quinn had a goal, and Jacob Bryson might have had the prettiest goal of the night for goal number 9. Just overall, a great night, top to bottom. I'm going to check right now in a second and see how many different players had points tonight, but just a fantastic game from in all 3 periods for the Buffalo Sabres tonight. UPL getting the start, which I was surprised by. I mean, not that it mattered. You scored 9 goals, but I thought they would have went with Alex Lyon. But whatever. I mean, a win's a win. I don't care who's in net as long as you win. Watching this game, I mean, you kind of question. It's like this is like the most confusing team in all of hockey because you'll lose to the legitimately worst team in the National Hockey League in Calgary, a team who only had 4 regulation wins coming into the game against you, and you lose it pretty decisively. And then again, not that Chicago is like some powerhouse, but they have some great young talent. They got Bedard, they got Nazar, amongst a few other really good players, and you absolutely dominate them from start to finish. I just started to question, like, why can't we not get this done every single game? Why can't we play this every single game? And hopefully we got some more reinforcements coming in. Apparently they thought Benson could have possibly played tonight. It didn't work out, so you'd have to imagine he'd be playing Sunday. If he could have played tonight, you imagine he's playing Sunday. Josh Norris is kind of like considered day-to-day. And I do want to say this about Josh Norris. Please be very careful with this injury. Oblique injuries are no joke, especially in hockey. He's already had a pass with it. He hurt it in the very first game of the season. I don't want them rushing him back for the sake of just trying to climb the standings. I know we have we're really thin down the middle right now, but just don't rush this guy back. He's a very high-paid hockey player to score goals and produce for you. There's no reason to rush this guy back if he's not ready, if he's not fully ready. You have to remember this is also the same medical staff that approved that trade to begin with. I believe Kevin Adams said they told him they had no reservations about Josh Norris and making that trade happen with Ottawa when they traded him Dylan Cousins, and then he's hurt in the very first game of the season. So that being said, please don't rush him back. Let him of course he's going to want to get back as soon as possible, but at the end of the day, sometimes protect the player from the self. Do not rush him back. That's all I'm going to say. If he is truly ready to come back, then let him come back. But if there's any reservations at all that he could hurt this again, just I'd rather wait. I just don't want to have to hear about him 3 games into his second stint here in the season, and all of a sudden the oblique injury takes him out for the rest of the year. I just don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear anything about oblique tears or strains or anything like that. Just get healthy and then come back when you're ready. A lot of comments here from JP Bird. Go Sabres. Such a good game. From Mauricio, impressive offensive output. Hold onto pucks, short passes, direct to the net, and most important, shoot options, rebound, high danger chances. Russ must have given them the riot act. Lindy even mentioned earlier today that when talking about Jack Quinn, that they've had conversations, and he mentioned that after that meeting with the media that he was going to go directly to talk to Jack Quinn again. So something must have sparked him because he had a good game tonight. It might have been his best game all season. So, get that guy going, and it could go a really long way with this lineup and getting healthy and getting Zach Benson back, most importantly. Could go a real long way with this team winning games and climbing the standings. I think that if both Pittsburgh and I want to say Washington lost tonight, if they did both play tonight, I'm not sure if they did. I'm not sure if the scores ended up being, but had they lost and the Sabres won, they were only 4 points out of a playoff spot. Only 4 points. That's how deadlocked the East is right now, that the pack hasn't really separated yet. So, let's string some wins together here. I know Carolina is going to be a really tough test on Sunday. A very well-coached hockey team, a very good defensively first hockey team. So, strap in and let's try and make it 2 in a row again. And beat a very, very good and very well-coached Carolina Hurricanes team. Great rebound for Wednesday's game. Couldn't agree with you more. Chris the Bard. I'm sorry if I butchered that. For Mike Stir, UPL is terrible. Otherwise, good win when the Sabres are on. They look legit. Sucks that they can't bring this 100% of the time. UPL, I don't really think he made one big save on Connor Bedard on that breakaway. And had they scored, it could have been easily 5-3. It was 5-2 at the time. Sure. Huge save. Prevent Chicago from closing the gap there. For the most part, I don't think UPL really had to work hard for this win tonight. I wasn't a big fan of the first 2 goals personally. But again, we're not going to get too deep in the weeds here with UPL because, again, they won. So that's all that matters. First time this year they outshot the other team and won overall face-off battle. It's a miracle. Yes, it is a miracle. 9 goals. Where the hell was this effort against the Flames? I just said that. It's mind-blowing. How crippled is Connor? He has made it home safe. Update on Connor, our boy, and I'll pull up the tweet here in a second. Our boy did get some love on Twitter doing the crossing the beer swords tweet that the Sabres quote tweeted, which is pretty cool, and they shared it to their Instagram page. Our co-host, the one and only Connor Hurley, getting a lot of love on social media. Is home for the holidays and I think home for a wedding. Got some love from the team directly tonight, which is pretty cool. I will say that. I'll bring the tweet up right now. See if you give me a second here. Super pumped for the guy, though. How can you not be? A fun game to go to. They put up 9. Let's see here. The Sabres quote tweeted Let's see where it is here. Here it is. Here it is. So pull this one up. Again, super pumped for Connor here, getting his moment in the sun here with the Sabres. So, let's see here. As you can see, I'm not sure who that is. And again, getting some love from the team. Can't really see it there.
You want to cross your swords?
Pull it down here. There we go. As you can see, the Sabres as you good buddy. I don't know. Again, my screen isn't really big enough for you guys to see that, but super cool. Seeing him get some love on the and getting love on Instagram. And giving you guys some great content tonight. So super fun. Good night for Connor Hurley there. And Sabres Nation. That's the Duane jersey. So pumped for Connor. Made the best of it tonight. Had a blast. Got a 9-goal game. Was the last time this team scored 9 goals? It's probably been years. Very rare event in hockey. Sometimes some seasons it never happens. Who said the Sabres needed a rebuild? Should rethink their life choices. Woo. What would be the reason to start UPL? Lion hasn't had a full game since November 8th. Long time. I agree. I don't really understand it. He got the start against Colorado, got pulled in the first period, but that wasn't really his fault, man. Team was playing like dog shit. So it is surprising because Lion has been really the staple for them and a good consistency and net. His numbers have been great. Again, I've seen a lot of UPL here. I mean, where's your son tanning at the pool party? No, he's right here in Buffalo, New York, having a blast. So impressed with Zucker coming back like a menace. We're 5 points out of first, which is ridiculous. Yeah, and I've been saying this for weeks. Like the East is wide open. Wide open. The pack has not separated, surprisingly enough. And there is an opportunity here with as bad as they've played and as many points as they've left on the table. There is an opportunity here for them to string together a winning streak or a point streak and put themselves right in the back in the playoff picture. I mean, why not? Why not us, Sabres for all. Doesn't matter if it's 9 or 20 or 3 until they start playing consistently every game. This team will never make it, even with the injuries when they come back. It's the same story. Listen, I mean, I'm going to just enjoy this win tonight. How can we not? It's a 9-goal game. 9-goal game. And I normally I'd be a little bit louder than that. I'm having trouble with the voice tonight. But again, I'm super, super pumped and excited for such a strong game tonight. All 3 periods. Again, they were the best team. And how often can you honestly say that about the Buffalo Sabres being the better team for all 3 periods? It's not, it doesn't happen that often. So celebrate it when it does. Celebrate it when it does. I know I'm going to. So I'm going to pull up some of the post-game quotes here from Brian Koziel, and just go through that. Obviously, I imagine that locker room is absolutely buzzing right now. Just give me 1 second here. I do know they gave the championship belt to Zucker in his return, to the lineup after battling some type of viral infection that, I'm assuming he lost a ton of weight, didn't eat solid food for nine days, which is absolutely batshit crazy if you think about it. Like, imagine you not eating food for 9 days and being sick on top of that. Like, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. And then first game back, doesn't miss a beat, and scores a goal, and a nice goal. Goes to the net. Quinn finds him on the backhand pass from down low, right in front, and he buries it by Soderblom. And let's talk about that too. As a goalie, people who have been following this game long enough or have been alive long enough to remember the Patrick Waugh debacle in Montreal in his final year with the Canadiens before being traded to Colorado. If y'all remember, like, he was left in net. I can't remember how many goals. Maybe somebody in the chat can remind us, but he was essentially left in goal for like maybe it might have been like a 10 burger. I can't remember. And he kept on looking at the bench like, "Hey, get me out of here. This is ridiculous. Like, you guys aren't playing well in front of me at all. I don't want to be abused like this." And so it happened to Soderblom tonight. And I remember that Montreal back then at Montreal, like the boards behind the bench were lower, so you could kind of peek your head over for your player. And Waugh went up to the owner and says, "I will never play a game for you ever again." After that, because of the way he was treated in that game, and he didn't. And Soderblom was left in for all 9 goals, which to me is insane. I don't understand the reasoning for it. It's like, does the coach hate the goaltender? Does he like, why would you leave him in for all 9 goals? That is incredible. I personally don't understand it. I don't know. Just wild stuff in Chicago. And I feel bad for Soderblom because that is a tough spot, man. Nothing's going right your way. Nothing's going your team's way. They keep finding ways to get pucks behind you. And you kind of look to your bench and like, no goalie wants to give up, no matter what the score. But you gotta imagine like, hey, man, I've had enough. And they kept him in there for all 9. Like, that's incredibly insane and unprofessional to me. If I'm Soderblom after the game, I am fucking pissed off. I am really pissed off. No doubt about it. So I'm going to the Sabres did just tweet inside the numbers 9-3. Faceoffs 1, Sabres 35, the Blackhawks 24. Hits 19-13 in favor of the Sabres. Takeaways 8-4 in favor of the Sabres. Alex Tuch with 4 assists tonight has eclipsed the 400 NHL point milestone. Congrats to Alex Tuch. And again, this is just the definition of a full team win. Everybody played a part. I'm going to pull it up because I'm curious how many different players had a point tonight. So I'll pull it up here on the old Google machine. Let's see here. How many? Because there are 8 different goal scorers. So Alex Tuch with 4 assists. Jason Zucker with a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Bowen Byram, who everyone thought, I think, whose season might have been over when he went shoulder first into the boards after, making a pretty solid defensive play. I forget it was on who, but, the guy was lowering his shoulder trying to cut to the net, and Byram helped keep him to the outside. And he falls and went shoulder first into the boards. And he immediately drops his, he threw his stick, was, wincing, kind of like the way Josh Allen was that last night when he hurt his, his elbow or whatever. And he went straight to the locker room. And everyone was kind of like, well, another injury. What else is new? And then 10 minutes later, he's back on the ice. It was crazy. I couldn't believe that he was back on the ice. That was incredible. That's gutsy, man. That's gutsy. And hopefully, he can probably get some scans or something like that after tonight's game. And hopefully nothing nothing lingers. We'll see how he feels when he wakes up tomorrow. But, shout out to him and a couple clicks for him getting back in that game and contributing, having a 2-point night with a goal and assist. Jack Quinn also with a goal and assist for 2 points. Jacob Bryson with a goal and assist for 2 points. Josh Doan with 2 goals for 2 points. Rasmus Dahlin with 2 assists for 2 points. Ryan McLeod with a goal and an assist for 2 points. Tage Thompson with a goal and an assist for 2 points. Beck Malenstein, Connor Timmins, Isaac Rosine, Jordan Greenway, all with 1 assist. Samuelson with his 5th goal this season for 1 point. So tonight you had the only players that didn't have points tonight were Ostlund, Owen Power, Peyton Krebs, Tyson Kozak, and the goaltender, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. So that means you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 players with a point tonight. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. When's the parade from John Parkin? Listen, man, let's just enjoy the moment and enjoy a really good win, because that's what it was. It was a really good, fantastic win for the Buffalo Sabres tonight against a very fast and a team with some talent. They do. I mean, Connor Bedard has been one of the best teams and of all of the National Hockey League this year, and rightfully so. I mean, he was the first overall pick. He was considered to be the next, McDavid at one point. Obviously, like, his career has started off slower than McDavid's did, from a point production, but he's having a great year this year. I imagine he might eclipse 100 points this season, given the pace he's been playing at. So again, a lot of talent on that Chicago roster, and Buffalo just dominated them, absolutely dominated them. And I am blown the fuck away that they left Soderblom in for all 9 of those goals. Like, what an asshole! Like, what an asshole that coach is. Like, there's no getting around that. He is an asshole. I don't know. So, I don't know, guys. I don't have much left for you. I'll hit the the post game quotes here, brought to us by Brian Koziel, and that, of course, will be brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from at 7 different Western New York locations. If you need a beer, always make sure you make it a Fatty Beer. Let them know 2 goalies, 1 Mike sent you. And as always, extreme discount mattress.
We know with Skechers, your day starts with the comfort and support you need for your feet. And now that same innovation has made its way to the bedroom. Introducing the Skechers Sleep System. With cooling SketchKnit fabric, pressure-relieving Skechers Max cushioning, and our Skechers Posture Fit support system. Your day ends just like it began, with Skechers comfort that never stops. Skechers mattresses, exclusively at Extreme Discount Mattress, the lowest prices in the nation.
Yep. Looks like the Sabres got a better night's sleep. Maybe on that Skechers mattress. Maybe some of them are sleeping on it, because I've heard nothing but incredible things. So, get over to Extreme Discount Mattress. Let them know 2 goalies, 1 Mike sent you if you buy a mattress, and get the free mattress protector. And if you're not following along, we are doing a year-long giveaway. Any player, Sabres player who scores a hat trick, a lucky follower and retweeter and commenter will be lucky enough to win a $250 gift card to Extreme Discount Mattress. So make sure you check that out on Twitter and Instagram. Post-game comments. Tage Thompson, I thought it was a great response. Obviously, weren't happy with our game and thought we had a great response and outworked them, strong on pucks, and got to the net. It takes everyone pulling the rope. Thompson says Zucker being back is great. He's an awesome guy to have in the room. He's got experience, good calming presence in the room, and it backs it up on the ice, makes an impact right away. Thompson on what's next says, you can't get too high or too low. Sunday, we are going to need a response from this game. Alex Tuck says the start to the game was key. They were hounding pucks. They were good defensively. Also from Tuck says it's a game-by-game approach, but they need a response from this game now. Be ready to play against Carolina. Tuck says that Thompson playing center, he's flying up and down the ice, and he's been getting better at draws too. Says it frees him up frees him up a lot to play his type of game. Doan Josh Doan playing with Tage and Tuck. I think they are guys that are really easy to play with and create a lot of space and out there and getting guys' attention. You can find that sweet spot to be. Sorry, I can't apparently read. Doan says winning battles down low was a focal point tonight. You saw it on his goal. He got his own rebound, kept driving in that, and that's how he scored his first goal. Doan says they also discussed not changing their game once they got a lead. Rough. We got the start we wanted, the response we wanted. The battle on the puck was much better. It resulted in a lot of goals. Ruff says when Tuck is skating hard, he's a tough man to track down. We got a heck of a game from him tonight. Ruff says skating and competing was a key component to the win tonight. Ruff says Duane is a good match for Thompson and Tuck. He can skate with them. He's not afraid to be at the net and says he can make good plays. Ruff was worried about Byram's possible injury, but him coming back into the game was a good sign. Says they will follow up tomorrow to be sure. Ruff on Samuelson. He's giving us really good hockey. He's been our best defenseman. He continues to be our best defenseman. Says he puts a lot of work in the off season. Yep, Samuelson. And he was the guy, too, that kind of called out everybody after the Calgary game and said there were too many passengers, and he wasn't wrong. Definitely was not wrong. Another thing, too, like, I know I argue with some people on Twitter about this, too, because they thought that there's, Tage is defensively irresponsible. He can't play center. Well, he's on a fucking 5-game goal streak right now while playing center. And he's been nothing short of great for them. Like, even in some of the losses, he's been great. So, yeah, he should be at center. He had 94 points playing center in his career. And I know he scored 44 last year on the wing, but he scored 94 points from playing from center. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. Keep him at center. I almost want to say keep him at center even when Norris gets back. Imagine that type of center ice depth. If Norris slides down to be your second-line center, there's a lot more possibilities there to spread the talent out. Maybe you keep that line of Tage, Tuck, and Duane, keep it together because it's been working. It's working right now, and why break up something that's working? It makes no sense. So yeah, man, I'm just happy we're celebrating a win, especially after that dog shit game from the Bills last night on Thursday Night Football. So that's all I got here, guys. I know I came on late. I was kind of far away, to say the least. I was visiting an old friend from high school. I mentioned on the podcast earlier in the week that we had a personal friend from high school that we both played hockey with that passed away last week. And we want to kind of said life's too short, we should get together more, and we did that tonight. Watch the game, and he's like 40 minutes from my house. That's why it took me as long as it did to get on with you guys tonight. So had a great time watching the game. And if you enjoy this show, if you enjoy our content, please make sure you're following along. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, you can find me at Duane S39. Find the show at 2 Goalies 1 Mike. If you're listening on audio, if you audio only, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and YouTube. If you're watching along on YouTube, please drop an elbow, put a power bomb on that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that bell icon so you know when we go live. It's a big help, especially with the old algorithm. So whenever you like our videos, make sure you do. So I'm a little gassed. It's been a long day, long night, fun night. I will talk to you guys later. And as always, go Sabres.